Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, let's talk about the brand new Porsche 718 Cayman and the 718 Boxer. They're actually both in the news kind of indirectly because Porsche and especially Volkswagen AG are wanting to spread the cost of the brand new platform these machines are going to be built on, and they're going to use one of their in-house groups, that being Audi. Apparently Audi may get a brand new 718 Boxer, 718 Cayman platformed vehicle coming very soon. Audi's definitely a company that builds quite a bit of coupes. You think about the A5, the TT, and obviously the R8. And that's what a lot of folks are pointing at this thing, calling it the baby R8, possibly called the R6. Now, power will come from a boosted 4 or boosted 6-cylinder engines, but wouldn't it be really cool to see what kind of sexy bodywork the Audi folks could come up with for this machine? You know, the Paris Motor Show's only in a handful of months away. That might be just enough time for them to come up with a prototype. So, again, we'll have to wait and see. There's a lot of talk that they're working on this still, but it has yet to be made official as of yet. But we'll wait and see when we hear any more. Next up on the list, Ford is actually jumping for joy over the response for applying to own a Ford GT. If you don't know as of yet, basically, they're taking the dealer situation completely out of the equation. You have to apply to own a brand new Ford GT. Ford basically didn't want it to become some big money muscle fest where somebody could chunk down a huge amount of cash to own one of these machines. Actually, that has come into quite a question, especially from some of the dealer folk who actually found out that they were going to be allocated a brand new GT and went ahead and sold said GT, then to find out that, oh wait, yeah, that car can't be sold that particular way. So what you have to do, or at least their books have been open the day of the taping of this program so you can apply, again, to apply, because you're applying to actually get a shot at applying to this particular deal. In fact, 7,000 people have already just put up their hand in the air and said they would love to get a shot at trying out for one of these new machines. Now, what kind of hoops do you have to jump through? Well, obviously, you probably have to be a big Ford fan. Not to mention, you have to have a big Ford loyalty in you. If you own a GT in the past, if you presently own a GT, is obviously a big deal because they want to put these in the hands of real Ford people, and especially real Ford GT people. Now, obviously, one of them's already spoken for because Ford himself, Bill Ford, is actually going to buy one of these machines. He says he's got 001 on the old number plate as far as owning these machines. He said that actually in the second go-round of their brand new documentary about the new Ford GT. It is up on the Facebook page if you want to check it out right now. Now back to the old applying to apply. So obviously 7,000 people have put their hand up, but Ford is yet to announce just how many of these machines they're going to build. They said 250 for the world per year, but never said how many years that was going to be. Not to mention 7,000 people, well, they didn't even make half of that, or they made just a touch over half, I should say, of those in the last round of the Ford GT. So it'll be interesting to see just how many they actually build, just how many years they'll actually build this car. And there's obviously a lot we don't know about. Even the twin turbocharged 3.5 liter EcoBoost V6, we still don't even know official horsepower numbers, but this vehicle's sexy bodywork and the plenty of power that it should have, upwards of 600 brake horsepower, it's got people frothing at the mouth to own one of these cars. And even when we've talked about in the past, especially the Model 3 from the folks over at Tesla, which now apparently could be upwards around 400,000 units have been spoken for. 7,000 doesn't sound like much, but that being said, the brand new Ford GT is going to cost somewhere around $500,000. So obviously this is a lot different clientele that's going to be looking into this machine. We'll keep you in tune and we hear more. Next up on the list, well, the month of May is just around the corner. You know what the month of May means? The Indianapolis 500. In fact, this is the 100th anniversary of the 500 Classic, and this will be the pace car for that centennial version of the Indianapolis 500, the brand new Chevrolet Camaro. Now, this is not the first time the Camaro has actually paced the field. You may remember a handful of years ago, but it actually has done it up to 9 times. In fact, 1969 was the first time, or I should say 1967, also in 1969, 1982, 1983, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2014, and obviously now the 2016 running of the Indianapolis 500. The person who's going to be at the wheel of that particular machine is someone that is no stranger to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. In fact, he's celebrating a milestone as well. It's the captain, Roger Penske himself, is going to be behind the wheel of this machine. What anniversary is he celebrating? Well, you're thinking back at 100 runnings of the Indianapolis 500. Mr. Penske has been a car owner for half of those events. Yes, 50 runnings of the Indianapolis 500, Mr. Penske has been there with his team. So, pretty impressive milestone, and obviously a big milestone for the General Motors Group, because this is not the highest running 9 times of the pace car. The actual highest is another General Motors product, the Chevrolet Corvette, at 13. Next up on the list, a little bit of heartbreaking news, especially when you think about Toyota, especially when you think about a lot of where these Toyotas are built in the country of Japan. Japan has obviously gone through some horrific earthquakes over the past several days, killing and injuring lots of people. Toyota Motor Company is now ceasing all manufacturing, obviously not only because some of the facilities may have gotten damaged, but in bigger ways, a lot of the folks that work at these facilities have gone through some tremendous tragedies. All of us at Motor Cars are praying heavily for the country of Japan, all of Toyota's employees as well. Hopefully they can get through the grieving process, the recovery process, and obviously right into the rebuilding process, where our prayers are with you over there in Japan. And on a little bit lighter note, on the last story of this particular program, you may know the Hennessy Group, Texas's biggest tuner car group. John Hennessy actually kind of came name to fame actually from tuning Vipers from way back in the day. Vipers around 2,000 horsepower. Now the Hennessy Performance Engineering Group now tunes everything from your standard run-a-day Focus ST all the way up to that Hennessy Venom GT, one of the fastest cars on the planet. But how would you like to be a little piece of the action, a little behind the scenes? Actually, to get to see these guys on a daily basis, actually when they're doing a lot of their testing. Well, it's going to cost you the low, low price of $2.7 million. Now, what do you get for that $2.7 million? Well, you get the Lone Star Motorsports Park. If you've watched any video where the Hennessy Group is testing some of their machines, a lot of times you've seen it at a drag strip. That drag strip is Lone Star Motorsports Park. You can now own for $2.7 million the same facility that John Hennessy has owned for the past 12 years. The 55-acre facility has everything, all the timing lights, seating for 800 folks, heated and air conditioning, concession stands, a tower, everything that you would need. Actually, a little bit of a road course on the facility as well. There's also another 70 acres that is adjacent to the facility that is actually going to be sold separately as well, but you could bundle in if you want to own this. And obviously, you can rent this out to the Hennessy folks because they're planning on continuing to use the facility all the time. So, pretty neat little opportunity. I wouldn't mind owning that particular facility myself. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. You can check out that 4GT video. Also, you can check out all the stuff that gets updated every day on the old Facebook page. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.